All right, so let's get the party started. Like I said, I am on a mission trip in Oaxaca, Mexico, with an organization called Open Eyes. Check it out, openeyes.net. If you guys want to impact the world. So this is the listing consultation framework, and I'm going to approach this training from a little, and I'll have follow-up trainings, a little higher level than you might expect, but in a good way. And it will make sense here in a second. So the goal here is to become a dominant listing agent in your market during the shift storm. I think we're going to go through some stuff. I don't think it's going to be a blip. I think it's going to be 6, 7, 8 quarters, which means a year and a half, 2 years for the stuff, the kicking the can politics aside that we've been going through, the kicking the can of our economic reckoning. And if you haven't grabbed a copy of this, essentially is the listing presentation or marketing presentation that I've used personally, and hundreds of listings taken every year without me even being on the appointments. And we turned it into a virtual listing consultation process as well. So comment list to last, no matter where you are consuming this training. So here is the guiding question. So do I have the tools and systems in place to consistently and systematically convert seller prospects into clients for life without me doing all the heavy lifting? And that process, that question, that last part of that question will make sense here in a second. So why does this matter? When you talk about the listing consultation framework, this isn't simply a listing presentation we're going to talk about today. So we're going to take this up a level, because I really want everyone to understand that your business is simply a system of systems. It's our job to think like an owner. Even if you're coming to this training where you're like, I just want to get my next listing, my next deal, you're commission check to commission check, I'm still always going to challenge you to look at your business from the owner's box, right? So in the example of a competitive sport, right? You're down on the field in the mud, blocking and tackling. And at times, I'm going to force you to go up into the owner's seat and to look at your business from more of a 10,000 foot level. So that's the first thing I want to press upon you guys. And to ask yourself the question, and this is straight, I don't know if this question is from E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, but this was my primary takeaway from this book. And I've asked myself this question, not only in my real estate business, but in every business I've gotten involved in. And how would I think about my business differently if I were to replicate it 10,000 times? So when it comes to the listing consultation framework, what if you had to take, 10 listings in a day? Yeah, you could stack all the 10 listings in 10 different markets in a day. How would you think about your business differently and the listing consultation process differently if you were going to do that? So the next point here in terms of why this even matters is I want you to always think about CANI, C-A-N-I. And I learned this from Tony Robbins. I think it was in Fiji at Business Mastery 2. Constant and never-ending improvement. So constant and never-ending improvement. How would you think about this process, your business differently, if you were to think about tweaking it all the time? And you guys have hopefully seen me present this, the game we are playing. This is the game of real estate. Hopefully you have a stream of leads coming in the top of funnel. And then we have conversations, we set appointments, we meet with would-be buyers and sellers, we sign them up as loyal clients, we do the things we promise, we get them to the closing table, and we do this in a way where they still love us by the end of it. And it's this virtuous cycle that adds to the top of the funnel via referrals or word of mouth marketing, right? That's the virtuous cycle that we want to be playing. I want you to constantly think about the business in this context. And when it comes to the listing consultation process and the frameworks that we're going to go through today, the best sale is no sale, right? So we don't want there to be like this pursuit, like they're the one being pursued. We are the ones being pursued. We are the authority. We are the experts. So the best sale is no sale. And then we want to focus on their needs, right? A lot agents come in like, I'm the number one agent. Look at me, look at me, look at my stats. We want to make them the hero of this story. Big shift in our industry. It's like, look at me. And that's intimidating for a lot of newer agents, or maybe listings aren't your focus. If you shift on the seller and what they want, it'll provide massive leverage, not only to get to the initial listing to earn their business, but also when it comes to, getting them to do the right things to move forward in the process. So in terms of the tactics here, we're going to go through 8 things in terms of a listing process. Now, I don't want you to take these as like, these are the 8 things. This is a framework that we used in our business over the years, and we've refined it. I want you to use this as an example of what you could do in your business. And I want to challenge you to make it better, but just think about it as a process. I think that's where things fall flat for many agents, is that they don't have a consistent process. They're sort of, every time they go out and meet with a seller, it's different and there's not consistency, and we don't want that, right? So here's what you should know. Number 1 is that you must establish authority. This is before you ever enter their home, right? You need to qualify that appointment. When they say yes to meet with you, and we've got different trainings on scripts and dialogues to get a seller to meet with you, to agree to meet with you. This is, once they say yes to the appointment, you go through your seller qualifying questions. Right? In Real Estate B School, we've got all of the scripts, all of the dialogues, everything laid out. You need to establish authority. And so they say yes to the appointment. You ask them all of these questions, so they are prepared to sign with you if you can show them what you're promising to show them, right? So that's important. Number 2 is to pre-sell them on you. And this is done a couple different ways. We send videos before the appointment. We send a video from the team, from the agent that's going to meet with them, and also from the owner. If you're an individual agent, using video in your business is critical. So this is after the appointment's set. You're shooting a video and you're saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, this is Lars with ABC Realty. I am super excited to get the opportunity to earn your business Tuesday at 3 p.m. When we get together, we're going to go through this, and this. And then, once you understand how I work and the results I've gotten for my clients, we're going to go through the pricing process, our commission or marketing fee structure, and then we're going to get through the paperwork, and we're going to put your house on the market. I am super excited to earn your business Tuesday at 3 p.m. Looking forward to getting together with you, or something like that, right? So you'll send that video, and then they will get a physical pre-list packet before they meet with you. Now, giving you all the individual bits, I'll show you them later here in the training. Giving them to you at this point is a little premature. You're not like in our inner world, so I've got to leave some of the goodies for those of you that actually end up in our case study program. I'll talk about a little bit about that in a second. Regardless, though, you have to physically deliver a packet. We've tested this. We've tried to go digital because it's cheaper. They're not going to open up a PDF on digital, right? They need to have stuff in their hands, feel the stuff, look through stuff before they get together with you. Number 3 is to build rapport. How to Win Friends and Influence People is probably the best resource here. It's a book. I think it's by Dale Carnegie. I don't know who wrote the book, but it's a great resource. So your job is to essentially become their friend. You want to establish authority and prove your expertise. And I'll talk about that in a second, but you also want to build rapport. This was not my strongest suit. I was all business when I would list properties. Now I spent probably 2.5, 3 years where I would take, anywhere from 3 to 5 listings a week. I was the main listing agent on our team at that point. But I would get out-friended. I would get out-friended by an agent that sold 8 homes. Here I am selling, hundreds of homes with a process that's proven to get better results. And I would get out-friended from their next door neighbor that sold a couple of properties. I won't even tell you the examples of how that drove me nuts, but it definitely happened. So you want to become their friend when you get into their house. And, maybe that's through their home tour. Maybe that's through just some dialogue you have with them and that sort of thing. Number 4 is that generally you want to go through the market before you do anything else. You want to just talk about the state of the market. So you sit down, hopefully at a kitchen table where you can, sort of be side by side with them, and you're going to go through, folks, here's what's happening in the market. And you pull up your market stats. You're going to go through the things that are going to allow them to view you as like a totally separated from the pack. If they were to interview 100 agents, you are going to stand out, the one out of the 100 that knows the market. And this is a higher level view of the market, because the macro, is maybe the US, maybe the state, kind of bringing it down to their neighborhood, that sort of thing. You're not going to talk about the value of their home. You're just going to talk about the market as a way to establish you as the expert. Number 5 is that it is showtime. You need a powerful marketing presentation. The example that I gave away, that was a version that you could model, but it really has to be your own, right? So if you don't have those 7 steps, we teach that in Real Estate B School, and we give you all the collateral around it to support it. But if you're not in our world, don't be discouraged. We want you in our world, but you still need a marketing presentation. You need to make the transition from, okay, now that we've gone through the overview of the market, here's what we're going to do to market and sell your home. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's not just listing your home on MLS. That's what most agents do. And they sort of pray that a buyer will come through. We have a proven system that we use, and you guys can get a copy of our just list to last in the comments wherever you're watching this. We can show you what we do. Number 6 is the equity evaluation. It's a tool that we use in Real Estate B School that is hands down the best thing I've ever seen. There are some slick tools out there that are sort of like online, flashy sort of CMA tools. This tool, though, is unlike anything you've seen. It's like 4 or 5 ways to value a property that debunks sort of everything they're thinking, everything they could have seen on Zillow or any home value estimators that they're looking at. It looks at all the different things and brings them all into a conclusion of value, and it gives you a range, so you're not gonna, so you can kind of work with them to determine the value of the property. Number 7 is to have the paperwork ready. You're going into this listing knowing that you're going to walk out with a signed listing agreement at your price, at your commission rate, and you need to have a listing packets ready to go. Now, this is not just the state listing agreement. This is all of the ancillary documents that you'll need. And again, in Real Estate B School, these are all swipe and deploy, so there's no worries about any of that if you're in our world. But you have to have all of your paperwork ready. Okay, you don't want to be there fumbling and like, oh man, I'm missing this form, and we'll set up a separate time where we can go over the paperwork. You do not want to leave the home if they're ready to go without all of the paperwork filled out, including the paperwork necessary to launch the listing and do everything to launch the listing. Number 8, and this is the most critical in terms of that virtuous cycle that I talked about, is that you want to set the stage for referrals. This is the time where they're most excited. They've decided to tag you as the agent that's going to market and sell their property. And we do this in the form of what we call the promise. This is essentially making a promise to them. Like, we're going to provide a value, we're going to provide a service that you couldn't imagine being any better. It's going to put you in the forefront, your needs, everything that matters to you. We're going to take we're going to take into account and do everything we can to satisfy your goals or achieve your goals and satisfy your needs. And when we do that, we're going to ask you for referrals. And if we don't get referrals, we'll assume we didn't deliver on the promise, and we're going to want to talk to you about it. Either way, you get better or you get referrals. And it's a formal process that we use. All right. So here, for those of you that are sort of snap-outers, here is the entire process laid out in 8 simple steps. So in terms of how do we get there, and much of this I've covered, but I'm going to sort of share my screen here and kind of show you some of the documents. This quote is the quote. It's forever the quote that you'll probably see on 90% of these weekly trainings that I do. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your system. So everything in your business is a system. You have to view it that way. Number 1 is to create your playbook. I'll show you what ours looks like. And it's a step-by-step, even if you're the one doing it, it's a step-by-step step-by-step process document that every listing follows this framework, right? So there's an actual playbook. We talked about the pre-listing packet, how important that is. We talked about the listing packet. We talked about the home valuation tools. We talked about the listing consultation and how to run that process. This is what some of the documents, and I'm going to open up a little bit, let you see inside here in a second, but the pre-list packet has a home seller guide, it has our resume, has a cover letter. I think those are two of the main things. And these are documents that you can swipe and deploy on the inside. These other documents here are part of the listing packet. Children's listing agreement is old. If they have children, 100% of the time you're guaranteed a referral or two because of that single document. Really, really cool. So this is for the listing consultation. We have printed versions of our marketing presentation. If for some reason we leave without the listing agreement signed, we leave this document called Top 10 Questions. I wrote every word of that document, and it's a rip off and duplicate type document. We've got our flexible marketing fee program as well. And of course, we've got transactions fees in there. Let me bow out of this here real quick. And let me see if I can pull up. Let's see, where was it? I had it pulled up here. Yeah. All right, here we go. All right. So let me just show you some of the documents that are important. We talked about the listing playbook. We've even got like one page documents here. I don't have the best, stuff like that in there. We've got our resume, which is a document that just kind of goes through everything that we stand for, about our company, that sort of thing. It's an actual resume. I use our company, another sort of one pager. We've got a seller inspection checklist, which is pretty cool. Again, these are all swipeable, so don't worry about it too much. We've got our marketing fee menu, which is pretty awesome. We've got scripts for using the promise. So this is at the a script for essentially guaranteeing referrals. We've got our listing playbook, which is a step-by-step document that goes through exactly how to roll a listing appointment step by step. So critical. We talked about that a second ago. Even in Real Estate B School, we have what we call drivers and accelerators, but for every accelerator, the consultation process is one of our 12 accelerators. So one of the 12 things we teach in Real Estate B School. So we have this 58-page document that walks you through step by step how to set this up in your business. Listing appointment behaviors. There's an important, so, it really takes you through exactly what you'll need to become a dominant listing agent. Everything that you will need. Laugh with the clients, introduce their presentations, review, It's like sort of step by step. Really proud of having put this together. We've got pricing documents as part of the press packet. We use a Claris market metrics as well. Equity valuation, how to present that. Really, really detailed. I talked about the listing appointment behaviors as well. And then that's about it. So that's just a little bit of show and tell to let you guys know that there really is a rhyme and reason when it comes to, let me just, the pre-list packet as well. I think I went through some of these. So home seller guide, we even have something called 151 steps. This is just like, this is not something we take lightly. We are pros at this. We've got a proven 151 step process that we go through. And this is a document that you can either include with your pre-list packet or you can have as a lead behind. So it's really, really powerful stuff. I don't want to show too much. Let me just show the top 10 questions. This is a really cool document. This will set the sellers up to be able to at least ask the right questions of agents that come in after you if you're not able to secure, will you let me unconditionally cancel my listing agreement if you aren't doing your job? We have something called the easy exit listing agreement. So boldest thing we can ever say, and this is the language in our listing agreement. Can you show me actual results? How do you generate interest online for my home? So it's all the questions that they should be asking, but they probably don't know how to ask. Our yard marketing program. Can you show me all of your active buyers? You know, we were in a team structure, but even if you're not, you know, you should have an actual proven process. Our photography and all that good stuff, and CMAs, we use the equity evaluation. That's what it looks like there. And we use this because it's data driven, and they're just not going to doubt you when you show them an equity evaluation like that. Expert negotiators. And then we've got all of our raving fans, and then our 151 steps. So that is, let me jump back over here. Let me move my head. I usually don't go into stuff like that, but I just want to let you guys know that there really is a process, and our conversions, even with me not going on appointments, were really, really high. All right. So point number 6 here is that you have to think like systems. We use Trello as the backbone of our business in terms of all process driven, in terms of set, met, signed, nurture, and that sort of thing. There's checklists involved in all of it. So guys, that's the training. That's the core of the training. List to last. If you want a copy of our marketing presentation, we call it the maximum value home marketing system. But here's the thing, you know, you heard me sort of tease you a little bit in terms of this is like 10% of all that you'll need. And I don't say that in like, I'm trying to bait you into our world. I guess a little bit I am. My passion is around getting deep into your business and helping you build an amazing business. But there's only so much I can do on a free weekly training, right? But if you want to go further, faster, I urge you to consider becoming our next case study. Go to rebscasestudyprogram.com. In our case study, you're going to get unrestricted access to everything you'll need to grow your business. Daily accountability from me, from one other business coach that is in this program with us. All the training you'll need. I do a Mindset Monday training for 60 minutes. We have open office hours on Thursdays for 60 minutes. We do a production mastermind on Tuesdays, quarterly business planning workshops that I run personally, annual planning workshops that I run personally. Twice a year, we do digital summits, and everything I've ever built, every event, every mastermind, every specialist training you get access to. So it is a really powerful program, and I guarantee your results. It's a 6-month program. I guarantee a 10x investment, or I'll personally write you a check for double your investment. So it's a double your money back, 10x return on investment guarantee. If you have questions, if you go to rebscasestudyprogram.com and you read through that, watch the video and then read through all of it. If you still have questions, jump on a growth assessment with us. You know, we're not going to sell you. It's not a sales call. We're just going to look at your business, where you are now, where you want to be in the future, and let's sort of bridge that gap. What's holding you back? What have you tried? How come you're not reaching your growth goals? So jump over to REBS growth assessment. We can run through any questions that you have. You should be able to get everything you need just by reading every word on this page. I laid out that presentation of the case study program so you'll understand intimately the details of the case study program. So super excited for you. We'll see you on the next training. Much love, much respect. We'll talk to you guys soon. Be good.